Imagine standing in front of an audience, your palms sweaty, your heart racing. You're about to deliver a speech that could define your future, but self-doubt whispers in your ear, "What if I fail?" Now imagine a moment when that whisper becomes a roar, and instead of retreating, you step forward. That's the moment you choose to fall, not backward into comfort, but forward into the unknown, into opportunity, and ultimately into growth. Denzel Washington, a man celebrated for his iconic roles and commanding presence, often speaks of this very philosophy, fall forward. In his 2011 commencement address at the University of Pennsylvania, Denzel shared a powerful truth. You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There is no doubt about it. For him, failure is not a detour. It's a necessary step on the road to success. Why does this philosophy matter so much? Because failure is universal. It doesn't discriminate. Whether you're a struggling student, an aspiring entrepreneur, or an established professional, failure will knock on your door. The question isn't if you'll fail. The question is, how will you respond? Will you let failure define you, or will you let it refine you? Denzel's journey to stardom is a testament to this mindset. Before becoming one of Hollywood's most respected actors, he faced rejection and uncertainty. There were auditions he didn't land, roles he didn't get, and moments where doubt could have derailed him, but he chose to fall forward. He turned every setback into a lesson, every no into fuel for his next attempt. The core message here is simple yet profound. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Every stumble, every misstep, and every rejection is an opportunity to learn, grow, and push closer to your dreams. It's about embracing the process, not just the destination. But why is this lesson so hard to accept? Perhaps it's because society often portrays success as linear, a straight path from point A to point B. We're bombarded with highlight reels that showcase triumphs, but gloss over struggles. We see the finished product, but rarely the sweat, tears, and failures that went into creating it. This warped perception makes us fear failure, when in reality, failure is the most powerful teacher we'll ever have. To truly understand the power of falling forward, we must redefine failure. Failure is not a dead end, it's a detour. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you're trying, stretching, and growing. The real failure lies not in falling, but in refusing to get back up. This is where Denzel's philosophy becomes transformative. He doesn't just encourage us to embrace failure, he urges us to actively seek it out. Why? Because the very act of trying, even if it leads to failure, propels us forward. It builds resilience, sharpens our skills, and prepares us for the challenges ahead. So as we embark on this journey of understanding what it means to fall forward, remember this: failure is not something to avoid, it's something to welcome. It's the catalyst that turns dreams into achievements, potential into reality, and ordinary individuals into extraordinary leaders. Failure. It's a word that most of us fear, a word that carries the weight of disappointment, regret, and self-doubt. But what if we redefine failure? What if, instead of seeing it as the end of the road, we saw it as the beginning of transformation? This is the heart of Denzel Washington's philosophy, fall forward. It's not just about enduring failure, it's about learning, growing, and using it to propel yourself towards success. Let's dive deeper into Denzel's journey. Before he became the celebrated actor, director, and producer we admire today, he faced his fair share of setbacks. In fact, during one of his earliest auditions, he was told outright, "You're just not good enough." Imagine hearing those words that could shatter the dreams of even the most confident person. But Denzel didn't let that rejection define him. Instead, he used it as fuel to work harder, to refine his craft, and to prove his critics wrong. Years later, he became not only a leading man, but also one of the most versatile and respected actors in the world. What can we learn from this? The first lesson is this: failure is feedback. When you stumble, it's not a sign that you're incapable, it's a sign that you're pushing your limits. It's a lesson in what didn't work and an opportunity to find out what will. Think about Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Every failed experiment brought Edison closer to his breakthrough, just as every setback brought Denzel closer to his success. But failure isn't just about learning, it's about resilience. It's about the ability to get back up again and again, no matter how many times you fall. Consider Michael Jordan, who once said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Jordan didn't let his failures define him. He let them refine him. He embraced the process, knowing that each missed shot was a step closer to greatness. Another powerful insight from Denzel's philosophy is the importance of stepping out of your comfort zone. He often says ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Comfort might feel good in the moment, but it doesn't lead to growth. Growth happens when you take risks, when you dare to try something new, even if it means falling. Because every time you fall, you learn how to get back up stronger. Take J.K. Rowling, for example. Before she became the author of the Harry Potter series, she was rejected by 12 publishers. She was a single mother living on welfare, struggling to make ends meet. But she didn't give up. She kept writing, kept submitting her manuscript, and eventually she found a publisher who believed in her work. Today, she's one of the best-selling authors of all time. Her story reminds us that the road to success is rarely straight. It's filled with twists, turns, and failures. But those failures are what make the journey worthwhile. Failure also teaches us humility. It reminds us that we're human, that we don't have all the answers, and that's okay. It forces us to ask for help, to seek guidance, and to collaborate with others. Denzel often credits his success to the mentors and supporters who believed in him when he doubted himself. He reminds us that no one achieves greatness alone. Failure humbles us and helps us appreciate the people and experiences that shape our journey. But perhaps the most transformative insight about failure is this: it builds character. When you face adversity and push through it, you develop qualities that can't be taught. Qualities like courage, determination, and perseverance. These are the traits that define not just successful people, but extraordinary ones. They're the traits that allow you to keep going even when the odds are stacked against you. Think about Oprah Winfrey, another icon who faced rejection early in her career. She was told she wasn't fit for television, yet she went on to become one of the most influential media personalities in the world. Oprah's story, like Denzel's, teaches us that failure is not a roadblock. It's a stepping stone. It's not something to fear, it's something to embrace. So what does it mean to fall forward? It means choosing action over inaction, even when you're afraid of failing. It means taking that leap of faith, knowing that even if you stumble, you're still moving in the right direction. It means understanding that success is not about never falling, it's about rising every time you do. And here's the best part. When you embrace failure, you stop fearing it. You start to see it for what it truly is. A teacher, a guide, a stepping stone. You realize that every great achievement was built on a foundation of failures, and you understand that the only true failure is the failure to try. What does it truly mean to fall forward? At first glance, the phrase might seem contradictory. Falling is often associated with failure, with mistakes, with something going wrong. But what if falling forward is the very essence of progress? What if failure is not just a consequence, but a crucial ingredient in the recipe for success? This is the transformative insight that lies at the heart of Denzel Washington's philosophy, and it's one that has the power to change lives. Let's start by diving deeper into Denzel's own journey. Before he became a household name, before the Oscars, the accolades, and the iconic roles, Denzel faced rejection. As a young actor, he often auditioned for roles only to hear the dreaded words, "We'll call you." In the entertainment industry, that phrase often means no. It would have been easy for him to give up, to tell himself, maybe I'm not cut out for this. But he didn't. Instead, Denzel chose to embrace every rejection as a learning opportunity. He chose to fall forward. One of Denzel's most powerful insights is this: you will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. It's a truth we all experience, yet many of us struggle to face. Society conditions us to avoid failure at all costs, to see it as a mark of shame rather than a badge of honor. But the truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Every stumble, every misstep, and every rejection carries within it the seeds of growth. Consider the story of Steve Jobs, the visionary behind Apple. In 1985, Jobs was fired from the very company he co-founded. Imagine the devastation of being told you're not good enough for something you helped create. For many, this would have been the end of the road, but for Jobs, it was the beginning of a new chapter. He used that failure as a stepping stone, founding Next and Pixar, two companies that would later contribute to his triumphant return to Apple. Jobs himself said, I didn't see it then, but getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. It's a story that echoes Denzel's philosophy. Falling forward often leads to breakthroughs we never imagined. But why is falling forward so powerful? The answer lies in its ability to build resilience. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you cultivate through experience. It's the muscle you strengthen every time you face a challenge and choose to keep going. When you fall forward, you're not just learning how to succeed. You're learning how to endure, how to adapt, and how to thrive in the face of adversity. Denzel often speaks about the importance of perseverance. In one of his speeches, he shared a story about auditioning for a role early in his career. He didn't get the part, but instead of walking away defeated, he went home, studied his craft, and came back stronger. Years later, he became one of the most sought-after actors in Hollywood. His journey teaches us an invaluable lesson. Failure is not a verdict. It's a challenge to rise higher, to dig deeper, and to keep moving forward. Let's look at another example. Serena Williams, one of the greatest athletes of all time. Serena didn't achieve her dominance in tennis without setbacks. Injuries, defeats, and even personal struggles tested her resolve. But every time she fell, she got back up stronger. She used her losses as opportunities to improve, to refine her game, and to push the boundaries of what was possible. Today, Serena is not just a tennis champion, she's a symbol of resilience and determination. Her story reminds us that falling forward isn't just about reaching goals, it's about becoming the person who can achieve them. Another key insight from Denzel's philosophy is the idea that ease is the enemy of progress. Comfort zones may feel safe, but they are rarely the places where growth happens. Growth requires discomfort. It requires risk. It requires stepping into the unknown, knowing that failure is a possibility, but trusting that even if you fall, you'll fall. Think about J.K. Rowling, who was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter found a home. At the time, Rowling was a single mother living on welfare, struggling to make ends meet. She could have given up. She could have told herself, maybe this isn't meant to be. But she didn't. She kept going, fueled by her belief in her story and her willingness to embrace rejection as part of the process. Today, she's one of the most successful authors in history. Her journey is a testament to the power of falling forward. But falling forward isn't just about external success, it's about internal transformation. When you embrace failure, you start to see yourself differently. You realize that you're stronger than you thought, more capable than you believed, and more resilient than you imagined. You start to develop a mindset that doesn't fear failure, but welcomes it as a teacher. Because failure teaches us things success never could. It teaches us humility, patience, and the importance of persistence. Denzel often emphasizes the importance of discipline in this process. Falling forward doesn't happen by accident. It's a choice. It's the decision to keep going even when the odds are against you. It's the commitment to showing up day after day and giving your best even when you don't feel like it. It's the understanding that every effort, no matter how small, is a step forward. As we reflect on these insights, one thing becomes clear. Falling forward is not just a strategy, it's a way of life. It's a mindset that says, I will not let failure define me. I will use it to refine me. It's a commitment to growth, a dedication to resilience, and a belief in the power of perseverance. So the next time you face a setback, remember this. Falling isn't the end. It's the beginning. It's a chance to learn, to grow, and to move closer to your goals. It's a reminder that every great achievement was born out of countless failures. And it's an invitation to embrace the journey, knowing that every fall is a step forward. Challenges, these are the moments that test us. These are the storms that push us to our limits, the crossroads where most people hesitate, falter, and turn back. But here's the truth. The greatest rewards come to those who press forward, especially when the road is steep, when the weight feels unbearable, and when failure seems inevitable. This is where Denzel Washington's philosophy to fall forward becomes not just a mindset, but a call to action. Let's face it, life is not a smooth journey. It's full of twists, turns, and hurdles that demand every ounce of strength we possess. Whether it's losing a job, experiencing rejection, or battling self-doubt, these moments have a way of making us question ourselves. Denzel often reminds us that failure is not something to be avoided, it's something to embrace. He has said, to achieve something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. And more often than not, that something involves stepping outside your comfort zone and tackling challenges head on. Think back to Denzel's early days as an actor. There was a time when his confidence wavered, when he questioned whether he was good enough to succeed in Hollywood. He was once cast in a Broadway play that earned him poor reviews. The experience could have crushed his spirit, but instead, it fueled his desire to improve. Denzel didn't give up. He worked harder. He studied his craft, honed his skills, and returned stronger. That setback was not an ending, it was a beginning. He fell forward, transforming the sting of failure into the fuel for future success. But how do we overcome challenges? How do we rise above the fear and frustration that failure often brings? The answer lies in resilience. Resilience is not about avoiding hardship. It's about facing it with courage and determination. It's about adapting to setbacks and finding a way to keep moving forward, even when the odds are stacked against you. Take the story of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison for his fight against apartheid. During those long years, Mandela could have given up. He could have let the weight of his imprisonment crush his spirit, but instead he used that time to reflect, to grow, and to prepare for the challenges ahead. When he was finally released, Mandela emerged not with bitterness, but with a renewed sense of purpose. He became the first black president of South Africa and a global symbol of resilience and justice. Mandela's journey exemplifies what it means to fall forward, to use even the darkest moments as a springboard for greatness. Another powerful example is Misty Copeland, the first African-American principal dancer in the American Ballet Theater. Misty didn't come from a background of privilege. She started ballet late, at the age of 13, and was told repeatedly that she didn't have the right body type for classical dance. But Misty refused to let those challenges define her. She worked tirelessly to master her craft, breaking barriers and shattering stereotypes along the way. Today, she's not just a dancer. She's an icon, a symbol of perseverance, and a testament to the power of hard work and resilience. Challenges, by their very nature, are uncomfortable. They force us to confront our fears, our insecurities, and our limitations. But they also provide the greatest opportunities for growth. When we face adversity, we discover strengths we didn't know we had. We learn to adapt, to innovate, and to persevere. We become more than we were before. One of the most important tools for overcoming challenges is perspective. Challenges may feel overwhelming in the moment, but they are rarely permanent. Denzel often talks about the importance of faith, not just faith in a higher power, but faith in yourself, in your abilities, and in your potential. He encourages us to trust the process, to believe that every struggle has a purpose, and to keep moving forward, even when the path isn't clear. But let's not sugarcoat it. Falling forward isn't easy. It requires grit, determination, and an unwavering commitment to your goals. It demands that you show up, even when you're exhausted, discouraged, or filled with doubt. It means putting one foot in front of the other, no matter how slow the progress may seem. And it means remembering that every great achievement is the result of countless small steps. Now think about the late Chadwick Boseman, who rose to international stardom for his role as Black Panther. What many people didn't know at the time was that Chadwick was battling cancer while filming some of his most iconic roles. Despite the physical and emotional challenges he faced, he gave every performance his all, inspiring millions around the world. Chadwick's story is a poignant reminder that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, we have the power to rise, to persevere, and to leave a legacy that transcends our circumstances. When you embrace the philosophy of falling forward, you stop seeing challenges as roadblocks. Instead, you see them as opportunities. Opportunities to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. You start to understand that every obstacle is a chance to prove to yourself what you're truly capable of. So, how do we maximize our potential? It starts with embracing the mindset that failure is not something to fear, but something to use. It's about developing the discipline to keep going even when the journey gets tough. It's about surrounding yourself with people who inspire and challenge you, who push you to be your best, and who remind you that you're not alone. Denzel once said, "Don't aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference." That difference begins with how you approach your challenges. It begins with the choice to fall forward, to rise above, and to make every failure a stepping stone to success. Remember, the greatest challenges often lead to the greatest triumphs. When life knocks you down, don't stay down. Get back up, stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever, because every time you fall forward, you're one step closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. The path to success is rarely a straight line. It's filled with twists and turns, setbacks and stumbles. But here's the beauty of it. Every stumble is a step forward if you choose to see it that way. This is the essence of Denzel Washington's philosophy of falling forward. It's a mindset that redefines failure as progress, as growth, as a necessary part of the journey toward greatness. Throughout history, the most extraordinary achievements have been built on the foundation of failure. Every setback, every rejection, and every moment of doubt was a stepping stone, not a stopping point. Think about the inventors, the athletes, the visionaries, and the leaders who dared to dream big. Their journeys were not free of hardship. They were defined by it. And yet they chose to rise, to persevere, to fall forward. So, here's the challenge. What will you do the next time you face failure? Will you let it stop you in your tracks, or will you use it as a launching pad? Will you let fear hold you back, or will you embrace the courage it takes to move forward? The choice is yours, and it's a choice that will shape your future. Denzel reminds us that success is not about avoiding failure, it's about embracing it. He says, you will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. And in accepting it, you take away its power to stop you. You learn to see failure not as the end, but as the beginning. You start to understand that every fall brings you one step closer to your goals. But let's take this one step further. Falling forward is not just about personal growth. It's about inspiring others. When you rise after a fall, you show the world what's possible. You become a source of hope, a beacon of resilience, a living testament to the power of perseverance. Your journey has the potential to inspire those around you, to give them the courage to face their own challenges and keep moving forward. Imagine the impact you can have, not just on your own life, but on the lives of others. Imagine the legacy you can leave behind. It's not about the accolades, the titles, or the wealth. It's about the difference you make. It's about the lives you touch and the hope you ignite. And it all starts with one simple decision, the decision to fall forward. So as you step into the next chapter of your life, carry this philosophy with you. Embrace failure, learn from it, grow through it. Let it shape you into the person you were meant to be, because every fall is a chance to rise higher, to dream bigger, and to achieve more. Denzel Washington once said, dream big, but remember that dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. Falling forward isn't just about dreaming big. It's about setting those goals, working toward them with relentless determination, and refusing to let failure stand in your way. It's about showing up every day, giving it your all, and trusting the process. Let's make this personal. What dream have you been holding on to? What goal have you been too afraid to pursue? It's time to take that first step. It's time to face your fears, embrace the possibility of failure, and move forward with courage. Because the only true failure is the failure to try. You have everything you need within you. You have the strength, the resilience, and the determination to overcome any obstacle. But you have to believe in yourself. You have to trust that every fall is an opportunity to grow. And you have to commit to the journey, no matter how difficult it may seem. So here's my challenge to you. Fall forward, take the risk, embrace the uncertainty. And when you stumble, get back up, dust yourself off, and keep moving. Because every step you take brings you closer to the person you were meant to be. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are capable of greatness. Remember, success is not about never falling. It's about always rising. It's about choosing progress over perfection, resilience over regret, and growth over comfort. It's about living with purpose, with passion, and with the unwavering belief that your dreams are worth the effort. As you go forward, let Denzel's words echo in your mind. Fall forward. Let them remind you that failure is not the end, it's the beginning. It's the spark that ignites change, the force that propels you toward your goals, and the proof that you are moving in the right direction. This is your moment. This is your journey. Embrace it, own it, and most importantly, keep falling forward.